We are live. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me. Um, and gentlemen, starting at the top, your names, please.
Hank Versillo. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
My pleasure.
Chris Scarcy, here from the West Coast. Appreciate you having me.
Hey, listen, you guys, we've chat before. You guys are probably some of the most diehard Syracuse fans that I've ever come across in my life.
Oh, you haven't met his dad.
Oh, boy. Oh,
That's
wow.
right.
That's right.
We definitely bleed orange, that's for sure.
Yep.
That's
No doubt, since we were
fantastic,
little.
guys. That is fantastic. What's your, so you asked me a question. Who's the toughest guy that I've ever played
Yeah.
against?
Well, I said who's the best guys, but I guess you could
Best.
put it in different classes. But toughest, yeah, toughest. You're mentioning.
Listen, the toughest I said right away was Dale Shackelford.
Right.
You know, because of his he was shorter but quicker and strong, so he created problems for me. My benefit was that I was 190, 200 pound center that outran all of the other big guys. So to play against Joe Barry Carroll was not difficult for me. It
Joe
was
Barry Carroll.
to play against James Bailey was difficult because James Bailey was 6'9". He was quick, he was athletic, he was strong, and I had to play them. I had to utilize all of my skills. I couldn't just outrun them down the floor to beat them. I had to actually use my my little bag of basketball skills that I had to win.
Now, if you could put this in perspective, if you put one more foot on me, I would be you then. 200 pounds. I couldn't imagine me being another foot taller.
Listen, and everyone said a year in and year out when Syracuse had the skinny guys under the basket, they were like, "Oh, they're just not big enough. They're not strong enough." It's like it's not the concept of how big you are; it's how big you think you are. You can always play bigger. The only trick is you have to initiate all contact. If I let a 250-pound guy run into me and start pushing me around, I've already lost. But as he's running up the floor, I take 2 steps forward and I make contact with him. Then he's always reacting. I initiate the contact. He can't take advantage of his size.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I just wanted to just kind of throw it out there. I've been making a few notes during the day, you know, because Syracuse is playing against Illinois today, and I always like to, when it's quiet, drive around and just jot down some notes, some thoughts that I had. Real quick, someone asked me about one of the what do you call it? One of the comments that I got was, "Will Benny be ready for the next game?" And I just thought back with my ex-player's mind and said, he's got to come back. He feels like he let his teammates down when they went into battle. So he's going to come out. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to have something to show. He's got something to prove. You know, um, just he's young. We don't want him to get too wild out there and start hacking a lot. But just to be just to put it all out there on, not to be so laid back, just to be aggressive and intense. That was one of the questions. Another big question, like Joe Girard, and I said, the law of averages dictates that boy can shoot the ball, and if it was easy to be a Division I shooter, everybody would do it. And everybody that's saying, "Oh, he's done, he's over, he's through with," the good thing that I like is that's why you're not playing for Syracuse University, because that's not Joe Girard. He won't back down. He won't give up. And there's an old saying about shooters: you throw enough mud on the wall, some will stick. So Joe, keep slinging mud. And let's see here. Okay, so Judah Mintz, he's got to be cool. He's got to lead the team. He's got to be mature. His guidance will. He understands now that after that last mistake that was made, that a lot of things depend on him. So he's got to have a clear mind, and he will definitely have forgotten about the last game they played, and he will put that chip on his shoulder and go out there and play, and he'll be a smarter player. He's already a really good athlete, great scorer. Now we're going to put a little more experience in him, get him to play the kind of basketball that we want to play, and not to fall in for these traps, because guys, I hate to tell you this, but because of video, that's not the last time that a team's going to come out and try that. They're gonna say, hey, listen, we saw that, it worked. Let's go out there, let's get really physical with them. I'm despondent about the fact that they let the referees lost control of the game. I was 30 seconds into the game as I was watching it. I said they've totally lost control because first of all, the coach is chirping at our players. What kind of nonsense is that?
Yeah, I was not a big fan of that guy.
It's, and you can tell the difference in age, because uh, a coach that chirps at players, he better hope that he never steps out on the court by chance, because he might get ran over. We just have to be running by the. He's like chirping at one player. You got to have eyes in the back of your head. It's just it just shows where the when I looked at this coach, I've seen him 25 times before in my career. I averaged 17, 18 points a game, 12, 13 rebounds a game, and I plugged the middle. So the idea of them being able to, if they thought that they'd get me into a fight and get me out of the game, well, that takes out 18 points, 12, 13 rebounds, and it opens up the middle. The only problem is they didn't do their homework. I never got into a fight, and I had about 7 knockouts. and it's not a knockout by fight. When somebody has in their mind to get physical, they have to run towards you. So I would just go in the middle of the pile and let everybody run toward me. And when they got over me, I would just explode up with the ball. They would get a foul, and I'd be on the foul line. They didn't know what their name was. So there's a way to solve everything. So I just want my little note to Jesse is, in the first part of the game, keep your hands up straight, move your feet, and pretend like you're trying to take a charge on everybody that's coming into the basket. Stay on the ground until you figure out what's going on. Move your feet, get right in front of guys, hold your hands up. What is 2 points when you can score 21? When you get 21 rebounds and score 12 points in a half? Stay on the floor. He's a force to be reckoned with. And I'm pretty sure that that's these guys. I'm like we talked about, Hank, before. Man, this is going to be an exciting team, because we actually get to sit and watch them grow.
Sure. I said to Chris earlier today, actually, I said, you're not going to know what you're going to get game in, game out, because other guys are stepping up now, right? They're showing what they got now, and maybe towards the middle of the season where it might be tough to defend because we have more weapons than we thought we might have had. I don't know, Chris, what was your take on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I look at the opportunities. I mean, you look at, with Benny being sick, that opens up Justin Taylor getting out there, and what a game that he had, yes. Which was phenomenal. So I think, these kids are going in and they're getting after it. But to allude, going back to like Jesse, I honestly think if he's out there, if he is, get that light on, if he's there at the end of that game, I think he gets the block. When that guy went up for the floater, I think he ends up blocking that shot. They win the game. Having Peter Carey in there, inexperienced a little bit, that might have come into play. And then another thing I think is I'm really high on that Hema kid. I think he's good. He was unfortunately hurt too. Yeah. And I honestly think if he's playing, they win that game too. So
absolutely.
But given all these guys, and you look at another opportunity with him being hurt is that Peter Carey getting opportunity. I think he had over double-digit minutes. So that's going to be all a good thing. All of those things are going to be a learning experience, and they just got to keep rolling with it and get better towards come turn of the year. So
absolutely, and what you just said is so important, because not only did they get minutes, but they got minutes thrown into the lion's den. They were thrown right in there. It couldn't get any hotter. Everything was intense. So these are what we call minutes that validate your skill set and your ability. These kids have always felt they felt that they could come in and they could participate and be a part of this team and do big things. And to walk out there and actually get thrown into an opportunity where, coming into that game, I guarantee you nobody thought that Judah Mintz wasn't going to be out there. Nobody thought that Jesse wasn't going to be playing. And next thing you know, you got guys that got to do major minutes, got to step up. And John Bull, he came out there and he was, I was very impressed. Everything that he did on the floor didn't show in the stat sheet, but he came out there and he held his own also. And I was just very proud of them, and also for Alan Griffin, Adrian Autry, and Pete Coruscante. They went out there. They got kicked out of the game, but who gives a flying hoot? Because they went out there to protect the players, to separate them, and that's what's important. That's why they were a part of this team in the first place. So I just think it was a perfect situation where we got to see another choice that the NCAA made that, was just nonsense.
I just feel, you know what, in these 6 games, 6 games, right? I mean, we've already been battle tested. I mean,
exactly,
big time think of the rotations we've had and the games that we've played. That just bodes well, when you start getting into the meat of the season, I think.
Yeah, because years past, you always look at years past, we'd have our bench, that 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th guy would never see action unless it was an absolute blowout against, the other team's walk-ons. Now you're throwing these guys out in the heat of the battle with a chance to win. I think that's going to be a huge benefit going forward. So unlike years past, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. I tell you what, these guys, it's one thing to practice, because you're always going to practice the way you want to play in a game. So you want to practice hard, so playing hard becomes a habit. Now, these guys have just seen that practicing hard, they've been told practicing hard and playing hard makes it a habit and you can do well during the game. They just saw it face to face. In the heat of battle, all the stuff that they're working on in practice, hey, I can step out there and get a chance to show what I can do. Not only that, the guys that didn't get in the game, they're like, man, coach always said, I got to be ready to go in the game because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
Listen, nobody could have ever guessed that. And what makes me really, really laugh is when you listen to a couple of other people a couple of people that are talking about, they're like, oh, it's an emergency. It's, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? This team is, it's terrible. It makes me want to laugh so hard because to be a Division I player, to make a team like Syracuse, you've already beaten out a bunch of all the odds. And one of the things to get there is you're battle tested. That's battle tested is going out there and playing well, and also going out there and not playing well at all, and being able to go out there and know what it takes to get back and understand that, hey, this is a cycle. This is a team. Not only that, Joe knows now I've got guys on my team that I can pass the ball to that are ready, they're battle tested. I mean, so Jesse and Joe now know that the guys that come in off the bench are coming in for real, not for fake. They're coming in there because they see, as I say many times, Coach Boeheim doesn't make stars. He offers opportunities for people to become them.
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well,
I'm still waiting for the role of leader to emerge. Chris and I were talking about Joe Girard, and I don't know why I love Sherman Douglas. He's one of the best ever, but I always go back to GMAC because of his grittiness.
Yeah.
2 different guards, but GMAC, even when he was not shooting and he was lights out when he did, he was just facilitating. He was being a leader, doing that thing. I'm just waiting for that to emerge. That confidence level isn't there.
Hey,
right.
Something that I noticed. Everybody talks about how he's shooting. He's not shooting well. I made a point of watching him while he's running around on the floor. Did you notice that he was face guarded still? Now they're saying he's not a good shooter. He hasn't He's 2 for 20, 2 for 22 or something like that. Look at how the other coach played him, because they know at any given second he can blow up.
Yeah, it just needs a second.
And
That's what he needs.
the other thing that he's doing that as a player I can appreciate, he's still running out there. He's still putting himself in a position to try to score, and he's facilitating other shooters because they're putting one man on him. If he puts the ball on the floor, they're sending a second man to try to keep him from getting to the basket. So he's not scoring, but he's keeping two guys busy. What more can you ask? Then at that point, it's the job of getting the ball into the hands of the right people to shoot it.
Yeah.
And those people to be ready.
I mean, that happened a lot to Buddy Boeheim last year, Chris. When he'd go score 30 and then 5, because then they know how to play him and they get right in his face,
That's true. That's true.
But he was bigger and he could back guys down. So there's a little difference in the two, but they forget that he had some slumps as well.
Yep, absolutely. And maybe just, after a few bad games here, we can start getting back on track and doing what he does. That's all. Protecting the ball too is very.
I think we're gonna do it tonight. I'm psyched. I think we're gonna do it tonight. Honestly.
Absolutely.
And I got here this guy, this Mark Maynard guy. He played on my team in Kendall. Actually, our team in Kendall, because he was there before me. We won a couple of championships back there. He's saying hello from Florida. Thanks for dropping in, Mark. Let's see who else have we got here peeking in on us. Ricky Williams. If I am not mistaken, this is Jimmy. Don't call me Jimmy. I didn't say that. Don't call me Bug Williams. This is Jimmy's younger brother.
Oh, I know that Bug Williams name. My dad would mention that all the time.
So this is younger brother Ricky.
Yeah.
This young man right here, nobody will know him. Mark Anderson from 11th floor Lawrenson. My freshman year, I was on the 11th floor. I was at 1114, and Mark Anderson was in the corner, and we still stay in contact. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Let's see, Carol. Hey, this is Carol Lancy's from Kendall. Hey, Kendall, got to have that Kendall support.
Yeah.
Let's see here, and we got Andy Burjo. Andy's in Florida also. We gotta shake. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here we go. Here, this is Mark Maynard's sister, Alita, and I would pick her most times before I pick some guys playing basketball. She's tough. Hey, hey, listen, we call it country tough. All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, who we got? Got a new. Let me see here. A couple of people jumped in here. Oh, and I must say, Mark Maynard, hello from Dr. Sheena. His daughter, who I spent many hours playing with and coaching, is now Dr. Sheena. She's a veterinary doctor, and that's and Sheena, I have to say it. We didn't know if that day was going to come, because she decided she wanted to do it. She went to help out at a veterinary clinic, and she saw blood and passed out. So
sounds like me.
so I understand what a beautiful, fantastic thing that is for I call her the bean.
She overcame her fear.
Oh my gosh, she's tough. Let's see. We got one question here. Let's see here. What's he say? Any reason why it looks like the offense is just a pickup game and not actually running any offense? Hey, listen. When the wheels come off the wagon, the offense doesn't look good. You just got to keep practicing it. You got 3 new heads in there. You got to keep practicing. Keep going through the motions until you make it your own offense. Me personally, I can't even remember an offense that I did, because I was always focused on how soon we were going to shoot and how quick I can get to the rebound. So if the play was supposed to run 20 seconds, and I would count in my head every time the play started, if I noticed we started shooting right around 8-9 seconds, I would run the play for 7 seconds, and I'd throw people out of the way and go to the rebound. Everybody's got to figure out how they're going to play together. Got 3 new pieces, got some talent. So don't worry about that pickup game. Sometimes you want to have a pickup game, but how do you play defense against a pickup game for the other coach? We'll figure it out. Not to worry.
Well, now you got 9 guys that are interacting. So,
Absolutely.
everybody's got to learn everybody.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of time before they gel. That's the thing. It's just taking a little bit
It'll
longer.
happen.
But once they gel, I think there's going to be a good thing. But it's going to take, I think, a little bit longer. And when they do gel, that's what I mean. It's always like, I love to say to a lot of those people, come check back in March.
Didn't we beat Illinois when they had Marcus Liberty?
No, that was the game we lost in '89 in the tournament. Probably the best, one of the best Syracuse teams.
Yeah.
Sherman Douglas was a senior and Billy Owens was a freshman. That team was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. You're right.
Yeah.
Those are things you guys can talk about. I actually left the country in 1980 and I came back in 1996. So all the games you're talking about, I had to look up on YouTube because I was over there.
We were living it. We were loving it and living it.
The internet wasn't even kicking over there yet. It took me. I used to write letters, and it would take 2 weeks to get a return letter. So,
well, this guy right here, Chris, him and his family have had season tickets at the Dome since it opened for basketball and football.
That's right. Yep. And I do remember going to Manly and watching you, Rosie, play at Manly Fieldhouse.
Yep.
One of some of my first games going to see basketball.
Yeah,
so
no doubt. Right. You were the guy.
Yeah, you were. Great times.
Just imagine this. So I left Kendall High School. We thought to see a Kendall basketball game, you had to come and almost watch the 6th graders play and get your seat, because if you waited to our gym only held like 800 people or something like that. So you had to come and watch 13-year-olds play in order to get a chance to watch us play. So imagine playing in a gym like that and then going and playing in Manly Fieldhouse. I was like, wow, this place, that was the loudest place day in and day out that I've ever been in my life. And there was one time, and I'll tell you when it was, the Carrier Dome was as loud as Manly Fieldhouse. And that was when, after they won the national championship, Carmelo Anthony came out and everybody started yelling, one more year. And he took the microphone and he said, why one more? Why not 3 more? And the place, I thought I was going to lose my hearing. And I said, flashback, Manly Fieldhouse. That was the one time that all the people in there made it as loud. So imagine that kind of. We used to score in 4, 5, 6 seconds because I really felt that we could have hearing loss if it stayed that loud much longer.
How funny.
But great times. Hey guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a cool drink, throw a couple logs on the fire. Let's watch this game.
Let's do it. Let's put them down.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Let's do it again.
You got it, sir.
Thanks for Junk King, and thanks for joining us. Leave us some notes, and we'll talk about them at another time. Thanks a lot, guys.
Go Cuse.
Go Cuse.
Go Cuse.